Hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 6. It's little different book and the author is different, but the only thing which I was willing is to give you more and more practice questions. As you will do same thing for several times, your concepts will be stronger and stronger. Plus your practice will make you as a perfect accountant. So intentions are very clear. We are doing cash books from different authors with different styles, with different transactions, so that we can make ourselves accomplished, make ourselves competent to create cash balances and to create bank balances. It is associated with the bank statement, it is associated with the cash in hand. Usually what happens, we are provided by different transactions for a particular month, and in this question we are related with June, and from June to June 5 there are few transactions given. Now these transactions are written in layman language. In simple English language, these transactions are given, and accountant is responsible to receive these transactions and convert into a usable information. All right, what is that usable information? For example, you have so many transactions where cash is coming in and cash is going out, and you want to know after all payments and after all transaction where you have received your cash, how much amount is still present in your hand. That is called cash in hand. And believe you me, this is the easiest way with which you can manage your cash, with which you can calculate cash in hand. Second usable information is, there are several transactions in a month you make with the bank. You deposit cash into the bank, you deposit your checks into the bank, you will withdraw amount from the bank, and you will draw a check to withdraw amount from your bank. You will pay electricity charges, different expenses through check, in which amount would be withdrawn from the bank. So when there are several transactions through bank, you will be willing to update yourself how much amount should be present in your bank. And what we are doing, with the help of these transactions, you will come to know how to calculate balance at bank at the end of any period of time. So there are two very important information. What I have said is, you will be willing to if you will be competent to calculate cash in hand, and you will be competent to calculate bank balance present at the end of any period of time. These transactions are given, and to convert them into usable information, there are two steps. First step, we will convert these transactions into journal entries, and those journal entries afterwards will be posted in different ledgers, with which you will be able to calculate all usable information which I have described earlier. Let me show the way how we will perform this question. So here is your view. You can see that there are two parts presented in this sheet. First part is your journal. Here is your journal part, and there you will record all transactions given in the question in the form of journal, and then you will use these journal entries, will post in cash book, and here you will be able to calculate your cash in hand and bank balance at the end of any period of time. You can see that there are three main columns: discount, cash at bank on debit side. This is your debit side, and this is your credit side. You have discount, cash, and bank. Since we are specifically associated with cash in hand and bank balance, so that is why no other ledger would be maintained in cash book except these three: discount, cash, and bank. So what we are willing to do, we want to know how much cash is still present in our hand. This is your cash management, so that you can update yourself, you can update your creditors, you can update your debtors, or all stakeholders about the cash information. What you will do, you will see if cash is present in this journal. We will make journal entries first. If cash is present on debit side, you will pick that cash and will post on debit side of the cash book. If cash is present on credit side, you will pick that cash and will post in credit side of the cash book. Simple is this. So cash debit side will show how much cash you have received. Cash credit side will show how much cash you have paid. The difference would be cash in hand. Hopefully you have understood. Second step is, you will see how much amount is present on your bank column. debit side and how much amount is present on bank column of credit side. Difference would be how much amount is still present in your bank account. Hopefully you have created your mind. We will be recording transaction in form of journal first. This journal will be used to create your cash book. Cash book is basically combination of three different ledger at the same time. You may make cash ledger and bank ledger differently at different pages, but when you will combine it, you can get information at the same time. What are transactions related to cash and what were those transactions related to bank, and you can see all the transaction on single page. All right, so let's go back to our question. Here is a raw data provided by your organization, and organization is willing to get usable information, and accountant is capable of turning or transforming this raw data into a usable information. And I'm repeating, usable information is how much cash is still present and how much amount is present in your bank account at the end of particular period of time. Question is starting from here. What he is saying, enter in 3-column cash book. So we are associated with 3-column cash book. What does that mean? In this cash book we have 3 columns: discount, cash and bank on debit side, discount, cash and bank on credit side. That is why it is called triple column cash book. Or in simple meaning, what is been said in the question, 3-column cash book is our target. So all 3 elements, discount, cash and bank, will be involved in it. Okay, so let's start June 1st entry. It's date June 1, so we will post date over here. First step is to complete journal entries. So we are writing date in journal. First entry is saying what? Rupees 300, and we are reading over here. Rupees 3000 paid in by proprietor for commencing business, for start of business. As journal has been completed, you have idea if cash is provided by the proprietor of the business. For the time being, let's stop it and understand the ideology or the concept of proprietor and the business. One side is businessman, other side is business, just business. So an accountant is associated with whom? Business or businessman? You are an employee of business or businessman? This is a question. So hopefully majority of you have the answer that we are not employee of an individual businessman. We are employee of organization. That means we are employee of the organization, the business, not the businessman. So it means when you are sitting in the business premises, you will see how much amount is coming in, how much amount is going with the reference of your organization, not with the reference of your owner. Now owner is paying amount. It means amount is going out as per aspect of businessman. But as we have decided, we are employee of business, not businessman. In respect of business, amount is coming in. It means for business, cash in hand is increasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention name of cash on debit side, as cash is your asset. And business point of view, we are following cash is coming in, asset is increasing, so you are debiting cash. When proprietor is providing cash, a specific terminology is used for that purpose. If proprietor is investing cash, that is called his capital. Capital is liability for the business, because business is responsible to take care of the investment of owner. It is liability of the business. Liability should be written on credit side, so you will mention capital on credit side. This is your first journal entry. Now let's see how much amount is invested by owner of the business. And it is said rupees 3000 is provided by the proprietor. So you will go and will choose debit side of this transaction. We'll write 3000 on debit side, and same amount will be posted on the credit side. Here you have completed your first entry, first journal, cash to capital, but it has 2 parts I have just seen. So you will name it as first B entry, so that both entries related to date 1 should not be mixed. So you have named it instead of B, we should write A. 1A is completed. Next entry is also associated with same date. So what you will do, you will write 1B over here, and let's see what second part is saying. Here you have your second part, of which 2000 was banked. That means 3000 was provided by the proprietor, and out of these 3200 are banked. Banked mean amount has been deposited into bank account, with which what will happen? Amount present in bank will be increased. Bank account is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be debited. So you will debit bank account. You will write bank account on debit side. How bank amount has been increased? As you know, you have received cash from your proprietor, and same cash is given or paid into the bank. It means your cash is decreasing. Cash was your asset, means asset is decreasing, cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of cash on credit side. Though cash is your asset, but due to payment your asset has been decreased. Now let's see how much amount is deposited into the bank. It is 2000, so you will debit 2000 over here, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way your entry number 1B has been completed. Here was first entry, and there were two aspects. Both aspects have been recorded in journal. Entry has been completed. Now see what is for entry number 2. What is present in entry number 2? An amount of rupees 375 due to. Now please understand due to. Here the second word is more important, to. How you would define it? Due to Qasim, it means we are liable to pay to Qasim. We were supposed to pay to Qasim. So Qasim was your account payable. Due to Qasim, Qasim was the person to whom amount was payable for goods purchased on credit was settled by check. So you were liable to pay amount to Qasim, and you are now paying as a check after deducting discount. Initially we will understand the entry, and then we will be focusing on amount. We were supposed to pay to Qasim. Qasim was your account payable. Okay, step by step we will do it. Qasim was your account payable. Account payable means your liability should be written on credit side, but now you have paid to Qasim. It means your liability has been ended. Your liability decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention name of Qasim on debit side, in spite of the fact that he was your account payable. Account payable means liability was supposed to be mentioned on credit side, but what had happened? Now you have paid him. He is no more your liability, no more your account payable. Liability decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. So you have mentioned name of Qasim on debit side. How you have paid? He is saying the medium which is used is check. When you will pay Qasim by check, you will issue a check in the name of Qasim. Qasim will go to your bank account, will present that check, and will withdraw amount from your bank. It means amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of bank on credit side. But here there is another aspect of this transaction, which is what was settled after deducting. And what deducting? Discount. So it means when you are paying amount, it is the credibility, it is the matter related to your creditor. He will allow you the discount, and what you will do, you will receive that discount. If you will receive the discount, that is your plus point, that is your income should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention discount on credit side because this is your discount received. So that is why you are mentioning it on credit side. Our journal entry has been completed. Now we'll be focusing on the amount. Let's see what was the date. It was 2. So mention date in date column as 2. Come to the point. An amount due to Qasim was 375. It was the total amount for which you were liable. So that is why amount which was payable to Qasim, you will write in front of Qasim 375. Now go back and see what other aspect is saying, that is 7 into 1/2% discount. amount of check has not been given. He is saying discount, so you will calculate discount. How? This is 7 into 1 over 2. When you will simplify it into a decimal format, it would become 1 over 2 means zero point 0.5, and 7 into 1 over 2 matlab 7.5%. You will calculate 7.5% of 375. So what you will do, you will write 375. Please focus over here. We are calculating 7.5% of what? 375. I will multiply 7.5 and will divide by 100. Please note it down how you have calculated this discount. Focus on this side. 375 was the total amount and you were willing to calculate 7.5%. So we have multiplied 7.5 and divided by 100. This way you will be able to calculate 7.5% of 375. So you have amount of discount. Now amount of check has not been mentioned. How you will decide what would be the amount? 375 was the total amount. You have received a discount 28. It means remaining amount would be written on check. And how you will calculate remaining amount? You will subtract discount from the total amount. Total amount was 375 and discount amount is 28.125. Now focus over here. 375 was total amount, 28 was discount. So you will subtract to see how much actually amount is going to be paid or amount to be written on check. This is 346.875 amount which would be written on bank, because total amount was 375. You have received discount. Remaining amount would be written on check. In this way, amounts are also posted. Journal entry has also been completed. So entry number 2 is completed. Now let's see what is next for us. This is entry number 3. So you will write date 3rd of the month. And now let's read out. Bought goods 375 less trade discount of 7 into 1 over 2%. You are buying goods. Kindly keep it in mind. You have bought goods. And next aspect is more important. You have paid cash for the same. So collectively there are 3 things involved. We have buying goods, we are paying cash, and importantly there is a trade discount. First we will do journal entry for bought goods and paid cash. When you are buying goods, it means goods are coming in. Goods are your near asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. You were supposed to write goods over here. But in accounting, we do not write goods. In place of goods, we write working. What working we are doing? We are purchasing. So you will mention purchase over here. Goods was just a referral word. It was written for the reference, what is coming in. You may write or you may erase it. Since it is unnecessary to be written here, so you can erase it. Goods were coming and you have written purchase instead of in place of goods. What is going out? When you will buy, obviously you will pay. Your cash is going out. It means your cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of cash on credit side. All right. Now the matter is about the amount. And what is total amount? Total amount was 375. But he is saying there is a discount. And discount is specifically a trade discount. Please keep remember that we do not write trade discount in accounting. In place of trade discount, we will just deduct the amount. Now keep it in mind, 375 was the total amount. Okay. And what you will do, you will subtract its discount, and discount is 7.5%. So you will calculate 375 multiplied by 7.5 and divided by 100. In this way, you will be able to calculate net amount. Please try to understand, focus upon here. 375 was the total amount and 7.5% trade discount. So you will calculate here inside the bracket, you have calculated the discount. 375 multiplied by 7.5 divided by 100. The amount would be the discount amount and it would be subtracted from total amount. In this way, you will be able to calculate net amount, and that is 346.875. This is amount which would be paid in actual. Why? Let's focus again. 375 was the amount. 375 was the amount and trade discount was 7.5%. So what you have done? Focus upon here again, 375 was total amount. Here in bracket you have calculated the discount, and this discount is subtracted from total amount. You will get the net amount which would be paid, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side as well. Post here. This way amount has been posted, entry completed, number 3. And now let's see what next entry is saying. For saying it is 4, since there are two entries, so you will write 4a. So there, these 4 entries, and these entries number 4 should not be mixed. It may be called 4a. All right, so first A is saying cash sales. Here we have cash sale of which 300 was banked. You may write 2 entries or you may make it a single entry. We will try to make 2 different entries so that entries should not be mixed and you can understand easily what is happening. First entry is cash sales. I had asked this question in the class and said, what does that mean, cash sales? Somebody had said, we have sold our cash. It was funny, but actually we are not selling cash. We are selling goods for which cash is immediately received. When you are selling goods and you are receiving cash, your cash in hand would be increased. Cash in hand is your asset, mean asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be debited, so you will name cash on debit side. Now you are selling goods, it means goods are going out. Goods are your near asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you were supposed to write goods over here. But in accounting, as you know, that we do not write goods, we write working instead of goods. What working we are doing? We are selling, so you will name, you will mention sales over here. Goods were written just for the reference, it's a referral word. Now it's unnecessary to be written over here, you can erase it. Actual entry is cash to sales. Let's see how much was the amount. You have sold your commodities for 400, so write 400 on the debit side, and same amount you will be writing on credit side. For a half part is completed, so what you will do, you can further name it as 4a1. Now you will do second part of this entry, and that entry would be 4a but 2. For fourth entry, actually there were 2 dates. Same day you have made 2 transactions. Just to distinguish, you have mentioned that it is for A, but A entry was also having 2 aspects. 300 amount is banked. Now we will do that entry. If 300 amount is banked, it means amount is deposited into the bank, with which what will happen, amount present in your bank account would be increased. Increase in bank account means increase in your asset. Asset increased should be debited, so you will mention bank on debit side. As your bank is asset, amount in bank is increased, asset is increased. Increase in asset should be debited. How you have increased your amount? What have you done? You have sold and cash received, and same cash is paid into the bank. It means cash present in your hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is decreasing, mean asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention name of cash on credit side. How much amount you have deposited into your bank? Here the question is informing us that 300 is the amount which is deposited into the bank, so you will mention 300 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side as well. This way amounts are posted, entries completed. So first fourth entry is completed, which was having 2 parts. Now we will see what second fourth entry is saying, for which you will say it's fourth B. Second fourth entry is here, and what it is saying, R Smith, who owed 90 rupees. R Smith, who owed 90 rupees on invoice, this percent discount, settled his account by check, which was logged into the bank. Now initial step is to understand what does that mean. For this, just focus on first line. R Smith, who owed, that means R Smith had taken a sort of loan from us. R Smith was the person from whom amount was receivable. Okay, R Smith is account receivable. That discount we will calculate later. Settled his account by check, and what had happened, you have received a check which was logged into the bank, and you have deposited the same into the bank. So ultimately what had happened, you have received the check and deposited into the bank. This is the simple thing you will understand. R. Smith was the person from whom amount was receivable, and you have received a check, and the same check has been deposited into the bank. It means the amount present in the bank account would eventually be increased. It means increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited, so you will mention name of bank on debit side. This is first aspect of this transaction. What had happened, you have received check from R. Smith, and as earlier we have decided, R. Smith is your account receivable because he owed amount. R. Smith was your account receivable, and we have received a check. No matter how or which medium has been used, it is cash, it is bank, it is draft, or whatever the medium has been used, but you have received amount from your account receivable. That means he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset has been decreased. So you were supposed to write the name of your account receivable, that means R. Smith on credit side. R. Smith was your account receivable. Please give attention. I'm just explaining it once again. R. Smith was your account receivable. You have received amount from R. Smith. It means he is no more your account receivable. Account receivables are asset. If account receivable are decreasing, mean asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have written Smith's name or account receivable name on credit side. Now, since you are the person who is receiving the amount, decide what is this discount. 5% cash discount is mentioned over here. Who will decide that there is discount? Since you are the owner of that amount, you are receiving the amount, you will decide whether to give discount or not. When you are saying that I will receive amount less than the actual amount, it means you have allowed, you have permitted R. Smith. When you are permitting, mean we have decided that it is allowed. What? Discount is being allowed. So you will mention over here discount allowed. Why you have chosen debit side? Because you are permitting to receive less amount. When you receive less amount, it would be your expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side, so you are writing discount on debit side. Now it's the matter related to amount. Now R. Smith, who owed 90 rupees. What does that mean? It is the total amount which was receivable. So the amount has been written beside Smith. So you will write total amount in front of name. This was the total amount which was receivable. So you have written in front of account receivable. Here is discount column, and you are needed to calculate discount, and that discount is 5%. Let's calculate 5%. How you would calculate? Total amount is 90, so you will write 90, and now you are needed to calculate 5%. You will multiply by 5 and will divide by 100. Please focus upon here. You have calculated 5% of 90. How? 90 was the total amount, multiply by 5 divided by 100. In this way you have calculated discount. The other thing is amount of check has not been described in the transaction. You can see over here our transaction has been completed from here, from here, from here. All three lines we have seen, but amount of check is not been described. How you will calculate the amount of check? You will apply a very simple principle. Amount present on credit side would always be equal to amount present on debit side. Here you have one amount on debit side, then how much amount you will write in the blank side of the bank, or the amount of check would be calculated. You will see total amount present on credit side, you will see total amount present on debit side. Difference would be written over here. And how you will calculate the difference? You have 90 rupees on credit side and 4.5 rupees on debit side. You will subtract, and this way you will calculate the difference. Now you will add all amounts present on debit side and amount present on credit side. They are equal. 85 plus 4.5, this would be equalizing as 90. Debit and credit side is equal, and entry number 4B it was. Entry is completed. Let's see what is next for us, and that is entry number 5. Since we have 3 entries related to 5th of the month, so you will write date as 5A for the first entry. let's see what first fifth entry is saying. Paid wages by check. Okay, you are paying your wages by issuing a check. First of all, you are paying wages, it means it's your expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side. Debit side is almost fixed for the expenses. Expense, what you are paying is wages, you can see over here. So you will write wages on debit side. Why? Because it's your expense. Payment is made by check. Obviously, your labor, your workers to whom you are paying, it's not the cash. You are paying through check. This check would be given to your worker. That worker will go to your bank, and at bank branch he will present your check, will withdraw amount from your bank. Thus, amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention name of your bank account on credit side as you have paid through check. How much amount of wages have been paid? This is 250. So you will mention 250 on debit side, and you are needed to write same amount on your credit side. This way entry 5A is completed. Now let's see what second fifth entry is saying. We are over here. Purchased office safe for rupees 190. Purchased office safe for rupees 190. You are buying office safe. Office almirah, you can say that you are buying some sort of furniture. It's fifth B. At first step, date should have been mentioned, is fifth B. So you are buying a sort of furniture, office almirah, office table, whatever the criteria. You may write the name office safe, or you may write the furniture. Both are correct. So office safe is coming in. Office safe is your asset, mean asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will name office safe, yeah, office furniture on debit side because asset is increasing. How this asset is being bought? Purchase office safe for cash. So it means cash is going out. Ultimately, cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention name of cash on credit side. You have bought office safe. Office safe is coming in. Cash is going out. Being asset, asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you have mentioned cash on credit side. How much amount of office safe is? Here you can see it is 190. So you will mention 190 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. Here is your 190. 5B is completed. Now let's see what next entry is. Again fifth, this is third fifth entry. Here is third fifth. Paid cash personal expenses of proprietor. Paid in cash personal expenses of the proprietor. Again focus on the first part, paid in cash. Whatever the name of expenses, but you are paying in cash. Cash is going out, cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means decrease in asset which should be credited. So you will mention name of cash on credit side as you are paying. This is your third fifth entry, so you will mention the date as 5C. All right, 5C entry is here. And for what purpose you are paying this cash? This is mentioned over here, personal expense of the proprietor. When you are saying it's personal expense of the proprietor, a specific term is used, that is drawings. Drawings will be debited. Now you will ask question, why have debited drawings? Drawings is exactly opposite sense of the first word which we have studied, capital. Capital is the amount which is provided by proprietor into the business. So amount is coming in. Drawing is something which is drawn by the proprietor out of the business. That means something is going out. It may be goods or it may be cash. So something is going out. It means the amount present in the business as of capital has been decreased. Capital was your liability. When proprietor is drawn amount from the business, it means our liability has been decreased. We are not liable to pay the same amount as proprietor has drawn for personal use. The only difference is we do not write capital over here as capital has been decreased. We were supposed to write capital. Drawing is specific term, so you will not use capital, you will use drawings for any personal use of proprietor. Let's see how much amount is drawn. That is rupees 60. So you will mention 60 on debit side and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way your 5C is completed, and hopefully this was the last entry. Yes, 5C, this is last entry, and first step has been completed. You can see that step by step what you have done. These many journal entries were completed step by step from 1 to 5C. All transactions which were present in the question are being generalized. Consider it as part A. We have completed part A. In the next step, we will convert all these journal entries and will post into cash book, and will create our cash book, and will be able to get our usable information. That means how much cash in hand and how much amount is still present in your bank account. For the time being, take a short break, and we will be meeting again for the part 2. Thank you very much for your time. I am waiting for your participation in part B of this question. Please come back soon. Okay, thank you very much.